Hi! Being efficient with your technique when stringing a racket can make you string faster while still maintaining quality. I'll share some quick tips on handling strings and things that could help your technique and become the best, faster version of yourself. All right, let's get into it. For this first technique is when you're pulling the long side, when you're stringing a natural one piece or using the around the world pattern. So typically what you're gonna have is you're gonna have a short length of string on one side and on the other side a long length of string. So on this first technique, I'll show you what a lot of stringers do after you put the long end through both grommets is you're pulling left, right as quickly as you can. And I demonstrate in this first video clip. In the second video clip, what I'm doing is I'm using my left and right hands, but in a different fashion. So I'll demonstrate it here. So I have this string coming through, and you can watch it here in real time. All right, so here's what I did. I put the string through, and I'm pulling it with my right this way as far as I can reach, then my left, and I'm just alternating it this way. So I'm not pulling it this way, but I'm pulling it as long as, or as far as I can reach. And I timed myself doing it both ways. And it was 3.6 seconds doing it the first way, and I did it in 3.2 seconds the second way. So I did save a little bit of time there, and in the long run, it'll add up to a lot more time. So for my next tip, it's the location of where I place my wastebasket. And it might not seem like much, but at a pro tournament or if you have a large quantity of rackets, I like to have it on the left of my machine. So typically when you tie off and you cut the extra string, I'm using my right hand, and I'll have the extra string in my left hand. So I like the idea of having the wastebasket right near where I can just drop it in. Having it in front is not bad, but I definitely don't want it on the right side where I have to go across my body to throw it into the wastebasket. Or even worse, I don't like it behind me where I have to turn around. So having it on the left side, I like to just dunk it in. For this next tip, I'll be weaving in one motion. And whether you're the type of stringer that pulls, pushes, or use the stitching technique, I think if you can weave your string and do everything in one pass, it's a lot more efficient. So this is a technique that I teach my students, is that I do the pulling method. But you want to have enough string length when you reach the end so you can just insert it into the hole and not have to yank the string. So I'll demonstrate that. I'll see some stringers that might reach halfway and then kind of yank the string and then finish off the other half. Or it might be the case where the string is all the way to the end and there's a little bit of that going on. So that might cause a little friction burn if it's a shaped or textured polyester. So again, and I'll do some where you're pushing the string, and if you can get it to the point where the end of the string will just go right directly into the hole, that would be, I think, better than if you were to have that string being yanked at the end. So let's say if you're doing it this way and then putting it in. There are exceptions when you're weaving like a hard weave, or you're reaching anything like a dense string pattern. So there are exceptions, but overall I think it's a lot more efficient if you can string or weave your crosses in one motion. This next tip, I'm going to call it the grab and go tip. Typically in the past, what I would do when I'm installing the mains is I put the string through using my right hand. I would thread it through the second hole, and then I would pull the string through using my left and my right hand, and then I would rotate the racket over to line it up with the tension head. So in a sense that was two moves, so I'll just show you it again. So I'm threading the string through, putting it through the hole, getting the string through, and then rotating my racket like that. So then I was stringing one day and I just tried this. I don't know how I found out, probably by accident, but I threaded the string through using my right hand. I kept my left hand out of the picture, and as the string passed through the frame, I just used my two fingers, my thumb and my index finger, and I just started pulling the string at the same time rotating the racket or the turntable with my left hand, and then lining it up with the tension head. So in a sense, that was two moves incorporated into one. So here's another string coming down on the 8th main. Now in this case, if there's a clamp right there that's blocking, or I might have to use my left hand to just clear it. But then once I can grab a hold of the tip, I'm only using my right hand to send it through, grabbing it on the outside. At the same time as I'm pulling this, I'm actually rotating the racket with my left hand, and then again lining it up there. So that's my grab and go tip. The purpose of this next tip is to reduce the amount of times that your hand needs to grab a tool from the tool tray, bring it up to the racket, and return it back to the tool tray. So I'll show you typically what some stringers might do is I just tied off or pre-tied the knot here, but let's say I didn't cinch it up yet. I grabbed my pliers and I'm cinching it. After I release it, I'll return it back to the tool tray, grab my cutting pliers, cut it, return my pliers back to the tool tray, and then basically I'll be doing the same thing over here. I'll be cinching the knot, then again cutting the extra string. So that was 4 times I had to go up and back with between my parallel jaw pliers and my cutting pliers. So let me show you an alternative to that. And this will reduce it by half, and meaning that you only have to make 2 trips. So let's say if I just tie the knot here, or I'm trying to cinch the knot, I'm going to use my starting clamp as an example. So I'm cinching it here, releasing the clamp. And what I can do, instead of returning it back, I'll just leave it on the string bed. So that was only 1 trip so far. I had to just grab the tool. And I'm not going to cut off the extra string. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to come over to this side, and after I tie the knot, I need to cinch it. So I'll use my starting clamp here and release this clamp. So now I can return the tool back to the tool tray. So that was my first trip. And then now at the same time I bring my hand back up, I'll just use grab my cutting pliers, and then I'll trim the 2 knots right here, and then return it back to the tool tray. So that was only 2 trips that I made by leaving the tool on the string bed and then just grabbing the cutting pliers when I returned my starting clamp back to the tray. In this video, I shared with you how to become more efficient with your technique. And if any of these tips are helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy stringing. And let your strings play.